Alright, hey guys, what's up, and welcome to a movie review of Glass. It's a 2019 movie by M. Night Shyamalan, and this is my review of it. I must say that it has. This is my first time, of course, for making a review on my channel here on YouTube. I usually make them very personal. It's just like a post on my Facebook or a message to my friend on WhatsApp. But some of my friends have insisted that I should try to make one on YouTube for the sake of it. So I was like, all right, I'll do it for you guys. So this is my first attempt. Let me know if you guys like it, and let me know if there are ways that I can improve on this review. So a lot of them usually tell me that I give very strict reviews, and some of them are very one-sided. Sometimes I review low-budget movies very high. Sometimes I review really famous movies really low. And they ask me why. They ask me what is it that I like, what is it I don't like. Let me tell you first of all, I am in no way associated to the Oscars of any of those associations, so I do not know how they grade movies, and they may clearly see things that I and many others don't. So this is a very personal review or a personal approach to reviewing movies, and I'm going to just tell you guys some of the things that I look at. So the first thing that I look at in reviewing a movie is the atmosphere or the cinematography, which is just the feel of it. Like when you enter a movie, when you start watching it, what is it that you feel? Is it warm? Is it a cold feeling? Is it a feeling of constant fear, a constant excitement, or the warmth of love? These things. The second thing is the music, the songs. Very simple. The third thing is the graphics, the animation. If there is no graphics in a movie, it doesn't mean that I will rate it low. It just means that it will get more points for maybe cinematography because of the way that they use the feel of the movie to give you guys what is visually appealing. And then the next point is the acting, the fourth point, the acting of the actors. It depends on how much opportunity every actor is given, of course, but for me it also matters how much you use the actors in the movie. Having a lot of actors is always nicer to see, but doesn't necessarily mean that the movie is going to do better. A good example is 127 Hours. We only had a single main actor in the movie, basically a single actor throughout the movie, and it was amazing. So that's a very important thing to remember. Another thing is the dialogues. The dialogues for me are very, very important. If you can watch a movie merely on dialogues, meaning without even opening your eyes, that's one of the best things you'll ever get, because the audio in the movie is mostly dictated by music or voices of people, and that's very important for us to know. Catchphrases are a big point for dialogues. What I mean by that is, if you watch The Dark Knight, the Joker in that movie just says something simple as "Why so serious?" But because of the intensity of the scene and the importance of the character, something as simple as that became a catchphrase that many people used, and it influenced our pop culture as to how something so simple like "Why so serious?" can be an important catchphrase that we remember until today. Another point is the plot. Plot of a story has to make sense. It has to. Even if the movie is completely supernatural, what I mean by make sense is us as the person who has no idea about the universe that the director is creating should have some grasp of how things work. If everything in the world can fly, for example, and they all fly naturally without the need for reason, then that's fine. But if one guy can fly and everyone else can't, there has to be a reason to it. It doesn't matter whether your excuse is that he flies because it's magic, or he flies because of electrical powers, or he flies because of he has wings. It doesn't matter, but just give us one of those things so that we can feed our curiosity. Another thing that is important for me is the creativity of the film. But what I mean by this, a good example is the Star Wars franchise. It came up with so many ideas over the years, from the R2D2's design, C3PO, the Death Star, the Starfighters. All of these things have influenced pop culture over the years, and it's something that people take from in terms of ideas until today. So that's very important for me. It can be something as simple as a pocket watch design to the concept of time travel, anything like that. As long as it's creative, it's good for me. Another very important element is the genres that we get. Of course, every movie is different in genre. You can't get everything you want. You can't get a horror, romance, drama, action, everything in one movie all the time, because some movies do specialize in a particular genre. But still, the genre has to feed into the audience quite well. It has to make sense. It has to be something that people want to look for, you know. And then there's the kind of general idea of who can watch the movie. So this one doesn't really matter to me. Like, it could be a movie only for kids, could be a movie only for adults, but I judge it overall as a movie that I enjoy or I do not. Therefore, I, being a reasonably young middle-aged man, would enjoy almost the best of both of, you know, like the best of both worlds kind of thing. I don't mind watching cartoons like the Lego Movie, which is not entirely for kids, by the way. It can be watched by adults, and I don't mind watching really old stuff as well. Like, not really old stuff. I mean, like movies for older people. Okay, there are movies like that. Don't judge me. So yes, let me just tell you that that's roughly the things that I look for. I don't really rate movies 10 out of 10 the same way I don't rate them a 0 out of 10. I guess just a movie being a movie gets a 1 out of 10. So that's another thing that I always tell my friends. They ask me why don't any movies get 10 out of 10. I have rated really high though. Like I do give 10 out of 10 sometimes, like, you know, Dark Knight, The Godfather and stuff like that. But you know, you can never be a perfect movie. If it existed, you would only watch that for the rest of your life. So here we go. Glass. This movie features these three main characters, one of which is Elijah Price, Mr. Glass, the one you can see on the left. The one in the middle is the Beast, Kevin Wendell Crumb is his character. And the right side is the guy from Unbreakable. I think his character name is David Dunn. David Dunn. Yeah, it was acted by Bruce Willis. So first of all, this movie I feel does not deserve the title Glass because Mr. Glass is only shown for like 10 to 15 minutes of the movie, and when he does something important, it's only at the very end. This movie is basically about these three people who, this doctor, she's a psychiatrist, she catches them very early on in the film when the Beast and the Unbreakable guy, David, try to fight each other. So after they get caught, they get put in this kind of research asylum where apparently she's trying to convince them, telling them that they are not really superheroes. So she's trying to tell them that it's just a fiction of their imagination, a figment of the imagination, saying that they derive the idea that they're superheroes based off real world comics and stories and stuff like that. And she's telling them that all three of you are just mentally retarded and you all need help. Let me just skip to this one. Yeah, the three of them. And she just gets the three of them to kind of discuss in a scene to tell them like why you're not a superhero, and stuff like that. One very good example is David Dunn. She tells him that your ability to have visions when you touch people is actually just it's like a derivative thought. Something like what Sherlock Holmes does. You see a guy with sand on his feet and you think that, oh, he must have gone to the beach. That's how you get the vision, thinking that, oh, this guy must have come from the beach and he was there for a while and he has the smell of perfume, which may have come from a woman that he has been with. Stuff like that. But this kind of confuses David Dunn. And she tries to do the same thing for the three of them. But let me just tell you my thought on this, alright? I think that this convincing thing may only work with a guy with this, the dissociative identity disorder, the guy in the middle, the Beast. I highly doubt it'll work on the other two. And yeah, it didn't work on the other two at the end. The other two of them, I mean, it did convince David for a while, but it didn't make sense because David could still smash through a door. The only reason he couldn't do it is because they kept flooding the room with water. I mean, if you really want to convince a guy that he's not strong, then you wouldn't even have the defense up of needing to flood the room with water. It's counterintuitive. It's like me telling you that you can actually get shot. You're not bulletproof. And then I put guns in your room. It doesn't make any sense. So the reason she puts this water thing in the room is apparently he is weak to water. For the reason that as a child he almost drowned, and I feel it's not a weakness, it's more of a fear to water, and the fact that he still breathes like a normal human means he can drown. It's not a weakness, it's just him being him. It's almost like saying magic is Superman's weakness. It's not. He just doesn't have any resistance to it. Doesn't mean it's his weakness. It's two different things. So I'll get to that in a bit. So back to the other two. The Beast, how they contain him is they put him in this room with this flashy light-like gadget thingy, which is ridiculous because it just flashes lights in the room. Now, some people have asked why don't he just close his eyes and run towards it. So here's the thing, a really high intensity light can get through your eyelids, so it doesn't matter whether your eyes are closed or open, and sometimes even through the palm of your hands because it's just so powerful. But here's the thing, the lights are not that powerful, because if it were that powerful, anyone else who was in the room would get affected and be like nearly blinded by it. Not just that, there's a security guard who enters the room to interact with him like for a short while, and then what happens is he tries to use the guard to block off the light, and it works for a brief second before the guard moves out of the way and the light hits him. So the light basically forces him out of the personality of the beast, thus making him weaker. So here's the thing, if the guard can block the light, he can just use the table or the chair next to him or the bed or the pillow that he's sleeping on and just smash the lights on the wall, and then they're broken. And it's in such a vulnerable place. Like, if you ask me, the best way I would have contained him is build an entire room out of bulletproof glass with the lights behind them, so that no matter where he goes, the light will always hit him and he can't directly damage the light. But once again, questionable, yet this is the decision they came up with. This gizmo in front of us. So whatever. On the other hand, Mr. Glass, he is kept in the simplest way. He's just in a room, solid room, and they think that they can't do anything to him because the entire asylum is being monitored. So they just leave him at that. Like, I would expected him to have the most advanced security, considering it's literally his movie, but no, he is the least important person in this movie. And the only time they show his importance is saying that he's just a mastermind who comes up with these ideas. But they could have spent more time on teaching us how he escapes and how he plans the escape and how he actually figures things out. But no, they just show him doing it and he's done. And they don't show his idea behind it. They just show him like one moment he's sneaking out of the room to fix something. How does he get out of the room? Where did he get the plan from? Did someone help him? Something like that. Did he have something shoved up his ass that he used to unlock the door? No such information given. It just goes on. These three are the people who are the normal people in the story. They're kind of like us. They're related in such a way. On the left is Mr. Glass's mother. In the middle is the girl who interacted with the beast. I think her name is Casey or something like that. On the right hand side is the son of David, the Unbreakable guy's son. So the three of these characters were very lame. The girl acted really well. Her expressions are really good throughout the film. The other two, they have nearly no role or stone cold faces. David's son had a really interesting role at the beginning of the movie. He was kind of like the voice in the year of Batman kind of thing. So he was kind of like helping his father to solve crime. That was really interesting, but since they caught his dad, I was surprised they didn't catch him as well. And the doctor, in fact, knew that he was the one talking to his dad. But I guess she kind of let him free because she felt that it was purely out of motivation of love for his dad, the vigilante business, you know. So yeah, that's fine. They left him. That's okay. But there was this interesting scene where the girl and him start to dig up on comic books because the doctor told them that all three of these people are just psychotically influenced by comic books to think that they are actually smart or strong, but they are not. So they actually start to do research by reading comic books instead of searching online for other possible superhumans, you know, or researchers regarding superhumans. This is what I would do, like go online and search like, are there really superheroes? Are there possible superheroes? Instead, they start looking up comics and thinking that maybe comics were written based on real life incidences. What are the real life incidences? They never find out because I don't know why. So yeah, just move on. This was my favorite scene in the movie. Just James McAvoy showing his pure talent of playing the character of Kevin Wendell Crumb and so many others. He has some real talent, that's for sure. This is a fantastic choice for him of this movie, but not a very good movie overall. So just this scene was really appealing to me. I really liked the switch in the personalities. It shows a lot of acting, a skill, a lot of patience as well. So yeah, that's nice. This is Glass trying to figure out a way to prevent them from lobotomizing. Not really. They want to treat Glass by kind of firing this laser and operating his brain, the frontal lobe thingy, and they want to nerf his intelligence. But he figures out a way to modify the machinery so that they go on with the operation, but apparently he is unharmed. So that's how he continues to plan the escape, because they think he is already fully recovered. And the way he escapes is he cuts the security guard's throat with a piece of glass that he finds somewhere. I don't know how that kind of emphasizes on the name of the movie, but it kind of I don't know, it's just the way it's been done. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. He builds up for this epic fight, which is gonna happen at that tower, which is like a newly built tower. It's gonna be a business center. It's a great place to get the Beast and David to fight. And the reason he wants to do that is because he wants to reveal to the world that there are superheroes. I don't understand how these three people somewhere in the US are the only three people who are regarded as superhuman. Like, I'm pretty sure if you Google up, you'll find something about it. Unless the organization of, whatever tries to keep the superhuman thing down. Which comes to the next important scene in the movie, which is where we are given these monologues, not really monologues, they're like insights on the Doctor's secret life of being part of a group of people who apparently search for these superhuman people and remove their superhuman capabilities or get rid of them so that the world has balance. I kind of understand where they're coming from. It's kind of like the Jumper syndrome. If you watch the Jumper movie, it's about these people with teleporting abilities. They can go around the world. Then there's this group called the Paladins who feel that no one should have the power of being in many places at once. So they go and kill them, saying that, no, this is too much of power for one person. And then they do that. So it's kind of like coming from that end. There's an organization that apparently gets rid of people, but nothing more is told about them. It's just to kind of feed our curiosity. Very poorly done because no one speaks in this scene besides the Doctor all the time, and she's just talking about these three people. They don't talk about anyone else, like mentioning other superheroes, like I've also cured superheroes in Russia or something like that, or in India or in China or something like that. They never mention any of those things. They just went on with they are silent. Only the Doctor speaks, just tell us who she is. So another scene is this one. Now, this is a very important scene. This is building towards the end of the movie where the Beast is fighting off with David. And the Beast is told by Glass that David's weakness is water because he almost drowned as a child. So they use his fear of water to an advantage and put him into this tank full of water. So here's the thing. David actually is still strong and he breaks his way out of the tank. So despite being underwater, he still has his strength. He's just afraid to drown. But after this, what happens is the guards that come to arrest them during the final battle, which doesn't even take place at the tower. It doesn't. It takes place on this lawn right here. And there's a reason for it. But when it takes place at this lawn, what happens is after the fight is over, the guards come and they kind of ease out the situation. The girl talks to the Beast and turns him to Kevin Wendell Crumb, and they shoot him. He dies. All right. I'm just going to tell you that. And then the David is caught by a security guard, a single security guard who has the strength to pull him. He's choking, by the way, because he just came out of the water. He's still like recovering from it. But the guard catches him, puts him on a puddle of water, which is on the ground. It's like a little crack on the ground. There's a puddle of water there. You could probably drink it off the ground and you would survive the drowning. But the guard tries to drown him in the puddle of water. And his hands are free. David's hands are free. He had the strength to break out of the tank, but he did not have the strength to push himself up and the guard off his back. It doesn't make sense to me. And then the Doctor kind of comes to him at that point, holds his hand and tells him that, did I almost convince you that you're not a superhero? I actually just wanted to bring balance to the world. Like what? Like what was the entire, like the first half of the movie of you trying to convince them otherwise about? Like, if they are actually superhuman, do you think you can convince them that they're not? I mean, it would work on the guy with DID. He has personality, so maybe you can talk him out of that personality, yes. But the other two are clearly something else. So that completely didn't make sense. The guards completely ignore Glass at the end of the battle because he's just on a wheelchair somewhere in the lawn. Somewhere there. He's just on a wheelchair somewhere there, and everyone just ignores him. But he can freely, like go around on his wheelchair and talk to the Beast and David while they are fighting. It's like, I don't know, it's just so funny seeing the guards just be there only to get beaten up and then not do anything else. No one has a gun in this movie until the last part where they shoot the Beast. So it's really poorly structured, very poorly, kind of conclusion to the fight. I really did not like that entire bit that happened. And this is one of the funniest scenes in the movie. It's basically a scene of David locking up a bunch of guards in a container so that he can go and fight the beast. But while he's locking up those guards, the beast is like beating up another two guards and eating one of the guards' body. Like, I'm not even kidding. He's locking a bunch of guards up with this metal bending thing, just so that they can get a nice shot of him bending the metal. It takes him like at least 10 to 20 seconds, and then there's a bunch of guards dying behind him. It is such a funny scene for me to watch. So yeah, let me just conclude the plot there as really poorly ended, poorly structured. But the reason that Mr. Glass said that they're going to fight here is just to give a build-up, apparently, and make them actually fight in the lawn, because the doctor emphasized that the entire asylum is filled with security cameras everywhere. So he collects the footage of the security cameras and uploads it onto a private link, which apparently goes to these three. These three, yes. And these three get the link and they upload it online on the internet so that the rest of the world can get it. And that's how the information spreads to the rest of the world. I don't understand why Mr. Glass, if he can find out the name, I mean the emails or whatever of these three, why he couldn't just email it to the rest of the world himself when he hacked the computers. But that's okay. He maybe felt like he left it in the responsibility of these three to spread the news or whatever. So that kind of concludes the movie. So that's what happened in this movie. I'm not very happy about it. Let me just tell you about the atmosphere. Cinematography was quite simple, similar to the previous movie, but it's okay, it's tolerable. Nothing very, you don't really feel comfortable, and you kind of feel like this very dark kind of presence of things of that you anticipate might happen, but the movie is just too slow for them to happen. It doesn't really pick up pace, it's just there. The music was nothing much in the movie. Of course, there was not many graphics, but the fight scenes when they happened were okay. Not really coordinated fighting, not really the close-up kind of fighting that you would expect. Most of the fights were just a bunch of, like, the Beast is beating up people. The first scene where Beast fights with David was really cool, but it ended really fast, so not much to it as well. The acting was only good from this girl, the one in the middle, and James McAvoy. The rest of them, anyone else could have been in the room. I'm honestly telling you, anyone else could have been Elijah Price, Mr. Glass, or David Dunn, Bruce Willis. They are fantastic actors. The two of them probably the best actors in the movie, but did not get to use their full potential because of the roles and the dialogues that they were given. So that was it. It was still nice to see Samuel L. Jackson play the role of a really smart guy, but he doesn't really say many smart things. He just gets, like, he says very generic dialogues that anyone could have said. So in terms of dialogues and catchphrases, not much to remember, just very story, point-related dialogues just to get the plot moving. So that's about that. Creativity-wise, nothing very creative. The plot twist at the end about the fight being switched to the lawn was okay. I do respect that idea. But it was kind of anticlimactic because we felt that they would actually be fighting on this tall tower. So although the plot twist was a good plot twist, it was an anticlimactic plot twist. It was a bad one in the end because of that. So it just came down to that. In terms of the coverage of the movie, anyone can watch the movie. It's not too violent or not too gory. Kids could be a little disturbed by the Beast, but other than that, every teen or anything else, everyone else could watch it. It shouldn't be a problem. So I rate this movie a 3 out of 10. Really bad, I know, and there's a reason for it, because it is a movie that is built of Split and Unbreakable. So it is a movie that had time and it had a lore, but it wasn't really built off it. So it lacks creativity, it lacks the suspense element, it lacks the use of the title Glass, because Mr. Glass didn't really do much. It only gets points for acting and points for having a reasonably decent plot. So yes, that's my rating for this movie. I'm giving it a 3 out of 10 for Glass. A very strict rating, as my friends will always see it, but that's just how it's going to be for now. We have a lot of fantastic movies coming up this year, and I'm pretty sure that I may change my rating at some point and get back to you guys with some top 10 list or something like that. But this is it for now, and you gotta understand, I've tried my best to see this movie in other ways, but it just isn't it. I checked on the ratings of Rotten Tomatoes. They gave 36%. IMDb gave 7.1. I feel that Rotten Tomatoes is apparently quite right on this one. It is not something that you would watch. Like, you could skip this movie and it'll be totally fine. I would not insist my friends to watch this movie. I'll be like, meh, it's fine. But I would tell someone to watch Split. Split was a much better movie than this because it focused on the relevant characters, and the relevant characters acted well. And it was a much more gripping story. So, like, for Split, I would rate Split a 6 out of 10, which is double this movie's rating. So, yep, that's it for my review, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys thought about this movie as well. Leave a like if you like this review. Dislike if otherwise. I don't think I need to tell you guys about that. But yes, that's my review for Split. I really hope that we get to see a better turnaround from this universe. I do believe that this is a conclusion to this saga of the Unbreakable to Split to Glass, but I really hope that M. Night Shyamalan kind of changes things a little bit to pick up the pace, because we really liked the thrilling moments we had in Split, which was really, really nice to see, by the way. Especially, you don't get many of these kind of thriller, split personality kind of movies. Even Unbreakable was really good. It was a pretty intense movie, and it was made really long ago. I think it's like 2000, 2001. So those two movies completely outclassed Glass, and that's why I gave such a low rating. So, yep, that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.